It's time to talk taxes.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Gulius and EG Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Gulius.
Hey, everybody, this is the Tax Lady, and this is our almost hour to talk taxes. And I'll tell you, we want to help you. It is tax time, and I got my sidekicks in studio, and we, even though the IRS isn't able to answer your tax questions because they have no staff, we want to help you, and EG Tax is there. Whether you email us, if you can call any of our offices, we will help you with your taxes, and we give you all the information at no charge. And I have Tiffany Fabian with us.
Hey there, Esther.
Hey, Tiff, and Christopher Fabian.
Hello.
And I'll tell you, this is probably the last week we'll all be together because we'll be busy writing tax returns. Yep. Now, starting Tuesday, the IRS is open for business. That's a good thing.
That is. It's earlier than the year prior, so that's a good thing.
But they're promising slower refunds.
Yep.
Because they're way understaffed. So they say. I know that there's been a lot of articles. The Taxpayer Advocate was testifying in Washington about how they're so understaffed, and it was interesting.
And
there was
a
statistic that I read that in 2004, the average taxpayer calling into the IRS waited like 2.5 minutes, and they took care of 98% of them. Now, the average taxpayer that calls in, about 43% are served, and they wait over 30 minutes. So that's just from the Taxpayer Advocacy thing. So if you do get a question and you do feel frustrated, you do have help, and EG Tax will be very happy to help you. And you can call any of our offices, and we'll be very happy to help you.
I bet you if people out there ran their business like that, they wouldn't be in business for very long.
But when you have the federal government backing, right? Anyway, I'm Esther Gulius, the Tax Lady from EG Tax. Our phone number here in studios, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. Our toll-free calls, for those of you that are in Florida, is 1-800-616-WBEN, 1-800-616-WBEN, or our wonderful Canadian friends who are up there with, if you need help with your FBARs or your U.S. returns, or you wonder how that all works, we're here to help you. 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. And today we thought we'd kind of unpeel the onion. We'll start with the outer skin of getting what income's taxable, what income isn't taxable.
Correct, okay? Because that's always a good place to start.
Right. Now, a lot of people would be surprised to know that bartering income is taxable. Chris, what's an example of bartering income?
Well, bartering is where, say, you have a lawnscape business and there's a dentist, and the dentist calls the guy and says, "Hey, can you take care of my lawn all summer?" And the guy says, "Sure, but can you do my family's teeth?" And he said, "Sure. And you know what? I won't charge you. You don't charge me, and we'll call it even."
Right. And what happens really is the landscape guy is supposed to claim as income the fair market value of the dental work he had done, and vice versa.
Correct.
Right. Yep. So that is taxable. Debt cancellation. A lot of times people negotiate with the credit card companies, and they would like to have that $20,000 MasterCard brought down to $2,000. What happens with the $18,000?
The $18,000 goes on line 21 as other income, and it's taxable at whatever tax rate you're in generally.
Unless there's a bankruptcy or you're insolvent.
That's correct.
Right? And so if you have an insolvency, which means you have more debt at the time of the forgiveness than you have
an opportunity,
assets, then you fill out a form and you can have that excluded.
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, W-2s. Everybody understands about W-2s. What are some of the things we've been seeing this week, you guys, that we thought we should alert people to?
On your W-2 in box 12, you should have a code DD if your employer helps you with your health insurance, and so you're going to see a DD in box 12, and that's the portion that was paid for your health insurance. And it's really important, as Esther I heard you tell a client earlier, is at the end of tax season, just like the IRS is famous for doing, they're going to do an audit, a reconciliation of all those people who said they were covered by insurance by their employer. And if they look at the W-2 and it doesn't have the DD, you might get a nasty gram.
Now,
from them.
there is an exclusion. The federal government says we're going to give employers an exclusion for not putting the DD on for 13 and 14 and until they say the exclusion is gone. But here's the thing. If I didn't have a DD on my W-2 and my health insurance was paid for by my employer and myself, I'd want it on there because I don't want to get a love letter in the summertime having them say, by the way, can you please prove that you really do have health insurance?
Correct.
So if you want to make sure that you don't have a problem with proving your health insurance, make sure you have a DD in box 12 if you do have your health insurance
provided. And I noticed
provided.
lots of employers last year when I was doing the returns were doing it, so people are really getting on board with it.
Right. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Our toll-free number is 800-616-WBEN, 800-616-WBEN, and we want to hear what you have to say. We're going to take your calls on the other side when we take our short break. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady. Boy,
Wait,
Tyler.
that was the
Boy,
mimes.
Tyler.
That was all my fault.
That was
I'm
the
telling
mimes.
you, you're
singing
fired.
silence.
The mimes, you got it.
It was
See,
the
Esther?
mimes. Oh, he was.
He's got me
that was
covered.
the mimes. That's it. That's
Yes.
the mimes. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. Tyler always does a musical bump, and I guess he didn't bump us. But anyway,
My internet went down
Your again.
again.
That
2 weeks in a
happens.
row.
I must be internet
Magnetic.
bad or something. Anyway, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. We want to answer your tax questions. We had Dawn from Lockport Holding. Hey, Dawn, how can we help you?
Hi. Actually, my mom wants to know this, but she wondered if you're on Social Security disability.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an amount of money, like if you make $500 a month and you can try and work a
good
few hours
question.
a week?
Right.
Is there an amount of money you can make? Is it up? Do they take it away from your disability payment?
When you're on Social Security disability, what you've pretty much said is you're unable to perform work. However,
Right.
the Social Security Administration will give you like a window of opportunity to go out and see if you're, after you started collecting Social Security disability, if you're able to work. And basically, I've seen my clients work maybe a year and a half before they took them off of SSD as they were getting back into the marketplace.
Okay.
So what I'd suggest your mom do is call Social Security and ask what kind of a window and what kind of and sometimes they'll allow you, Chris, isn't it true?
Like
a
800
small amount a month you
Yep.
can make without it affecting your SSD.
Right. I believe it might even be like $800 a month or something right around
But
there.
have mom call Social Security. You're going to find those people are really helpful.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Dawn. Bye-bye. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. If you have any questions, you can call us here in studio, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Our toll-free number is 800-616-WBEN. And we're talking about what kind of things are taxable. By the way, we had somebody that called while we were off the air, and he wanted to know about VA benefits, whether they qualify for the exception for Obamacare, and that's considered full health
Coverage.
insurance.
Right,
All right. So
right.
you don't have to worry if you're on VA benefits, if you're on Medicaid, if you're on Medicare. The people that have to worry are the people that just didn't have insurance for at least 9 months, or people that without an exception. And people that just wouldn't get insurance.
Right, but isn't it also you have to have Medicare A and B?
That would be
Yeah.
if you're
Senior.
senior.
But you got to have both. Where if you only have B for some reason, then you could be subject
Yeah,
to the
because
penalty.
seniors are going to be blown away to think that they might have to pay a penalty because they didn't have the supplemental insurance.
Right.
All right. So what else is taxable is severance pay, expense reimbursements on a non-accountable plan. So if you're an outside salesman and the company gives you a flat amount every month, $200, and you don't have to prove it, that's taxable
And
income.
don't
Then you
forget-
offset it by your 2106.
That's what I was going to say. If that's the case, don't forget to try to tuck it away into your itemized deduction and take advantage of it that way.
Right.
Yep.
Gambling winnings are taxable. On line 21, you get to take the expense as an itemized deduction, not subject to
And
2%.
the worst thing about gambling winnings, especially for seniors, is then it bumps up that taxability of your Social Security, and that's sometimes a lot of things that they're not planning on. And
That's
they're not
absolutely
so used
true.
to it.
Award or settlement that replaces taxable income is taxable. Interest on awards is taxable. Damages paid on account of a personal injury, on account of a personal injury but not a physical injury. In other words, libel, slander, invasion of privacy, breach of promise is taxable. If it's for personal injury,
Pain and suffering.
your arms are broken and stuff, then it would be tax free.
Right.
Unemployment is taxable. Subpay is taxable. Sick pay is taxable. Jury duty, executor fees, scholarships for room and board, and other expenses not covering tuition is taxable. Just for covering your tuition fees and course materials, that's not taxable.
Correct.
Right? Self-employment, rental income, interest income, dividends, sale of capital assets, some Social Security payments, if it's over $25,000, half including your other income is over $25,000, half including your other income over $32,000, married filing a joint return, pensions, alimony, illegal income, and some inheritances in respect of a decedent, and that's just some of them. And then, of course, all of the forms that support all these things and the different ways that they're handled. Okay? I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. And I want to tell you, if you can't get an answer from the IRS, EG Tax will help you. So use us as a resource. And let's see, we're going to go to Jim in Tonawanda. Hey, Jim.
How you doing? Say, I don't get a W-2 form. I get a 1099-R for my pension.
You sure
And
do.
there's nothing on that proves that I have health insurance, that my old employer pays for my insurance. Will they be sending me a letter? Do I have to ask a letter? Or what do I do when I see you in March?
Well, you don't have to do anything. We don't know, and I hate to say that if the IRS is going to ever send letters to say, please provide proof. But you would have your check stub, I believe, your pay stub would have your health insurance deduction right on that, correct?
And we're going to mark that you have health insurance all year, so it'll be indicated on your tax return, just like anything. The onus of responsibility falls on you, the taxpayer.
But I would tell you, Jim, it's
because it's automatically deposited.
But certainly, in the event that they send you a letter in the summer and says, okay, EG Tax put down that you have full insurance, and they write and they say, prove it, you come in and we will work with your employer to prove that the insurance was provided for you. I know that is not comforting, but right now everybody's trying to roll out the Obamacare and all of the pension, all of the pain that's going along with this. And I will tell you, when you talk to the Internal Revenue Service, they refer you to the marketplace. You call the marketplace, and they say, we don't answer tax questions. So we don't know exactly how it's going to happen, but we know that it is not going to be a subject to penalty, and we'll help you to prove it in the event that you get a letter, okay?
And I would even save photocopy your insurance card and just stick it in a file somewhere.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Maybe some bills, too.
That's a good idea. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. Have any questions, comments, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone, 1-800-616-WBEN if you're calling from outside the area. And we're going to go to Pat. And hello, Patricia. Can we help you?
Yes. I'm wondering, is it ever beneficial or not really detrimental to be married yet file individually?
You mean married separate?
Yeah, married and file separately.
Right.
Yes.
For many people, it's better to file married filing separate. But I want to couch that about. I would say you have to have very specific reasons why. For instance, let's say that one or the other of you have large medical bills, and it would be better to separate the income so that the floor that would be imposed would only be imposed on that one taxpayer's income. By the same token, if you're somebody that, if you and your spouse are, one of you are an outside salesperson and incur a lot of business expenses, it might be better to file separately. That would be two examples.
Yep, and now another example is if one person makes quite a bit of money and the other doesn't make quite as much, and you have kids under the age of 17, you'll get the child tax credit. And so there's lots of reasons to file married filing separate. If the other spouse has a debt or isn't wanting to file, there's another reason to file married filing separate. There's a lot of reasons that it isn't beneficial, but what do you want to chime in and say, Chris?
I mean, you got to look at each scenario individually.
But off the, easily the floor for medical is 7.5% of your adjusted gross income if you're over age 65, 10% of your AGI if you're under 65. There's a 2% limitation if you have miscellaneous itemized deductions for business. Those floors are reduced when you don't put income from the higher taxpayer together. So it just, in that situation, you definitely would look at it. Most of the other times, you just got to do it both ways and see if it works out. But if you have children, it's almost never better to file married separately.
And I can tell you, Pat, when I'm looking at it for my clients, I'll run the numbers both ways. I'll do it married filing joint and married filing separate and see what the answer is.
Okay?
That was what I was going to ask you also. Does it cost more for you to try it both ways?
No, we don't charge extra to do it both ways.
To try it both ways.
Okay, and not to be insulting, but you explained it very well. With all of your workers, you have all that same knowledge.
I mean, well, I will tell you, I have like 1,000 years experience, so because I'm an old dog. But I will tell you, all of our people have taken all of the testing, and while it may not be as rolling off the top of their tongue like we would have here because we do it every day, all year long, they certainly understand and know everything that we do.
All right. Thank you kindly.
All right. Thank you, Pat. It is true. I mean, when you're doing it and doing it and doing it, it's much easier.
Yeah, I can tell you if our staff doesn't know, though, they call us at the corporate office.
That's true.
Which is a good
That's exactly
tool
right.
to have in your tool chest.
Okay, and then quickly I got Ron from Clarence. Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Hi, Esther. My dad, who's 89 years young, still does his own taxes on the 1040A.
Okay.
He's a retired New York State employee, so his health insurance is part of the Empire plan and whatever. He's got cards and everything, and he's all set. And he said, Ron, what do I do? And I said, well, let me print up. I've got online, printed up the 1040A. I said, box number 38 says if you have full medical coverage, just check the box and leave it blank.
That's it.
And so then his next question is, he says, well, how in the world is the IRS ever going to know whether someone's checking that and they really don't have it?
Well, that's
everyone.
Well,
yeah,
and that's where we were talking like to the other gentleman. We don't know what they're going to do from a follow-up. That's why you want to have the
directions. And it said if you get it from Obamacare or you get it from the state exchanges, there's a form 86 blank 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 to fill out.
Right.
And so I just, for the heck of it, I printed that thing out. Oh my God! How
daunting!
I mean, how does anyone? I mean, even someone who has a college education, how are they going to go through that month? It is unbelievable. It's 20 pages of directions and tables. My gosh.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what we've been really working diligently to make sure. It's the exceptions to penalty that are so important. And you're right, it's a very daunting form.
And Esther just said a minute ago we had a question about the form, so we called the IRS and they said to call the
marketplace, and the marketplace said call the IRS. But that's why we want to let everybody know that be prepared because they're rolling this thing out. So, but if Dad needs help, let us know. Okay, Ron?
Very good. So for my dad, if they question, it's no problem. You can
you can come to see us. We'll help, even though we didn't do the return, we'll help Dad. Okay?
Yeah. Okay,
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady. We're going to take a short news break. See you on the other side. Okay.
It's the Black Keys.
The Black Keys?
Black Keys.
Keys.
The Black Keys.
Don't use your silver key, use your black key.
Oh, good. Wow. All these obscure bands, Tyler knows.
Oh, they are very popular.
They are?
Yes.
Where?
In the Keys of Florida.
In the Keys. All right. They're in the Black Keys. I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax. Love to help you with your tax problems, your questions. Give us a call here in studio, 803-0930. Star 930 on a cell phone. Out of the area, 800-616-WBEN. And we got Paula and Kenmore that's been holding. Hey, Paula, how can we help you?
Hey, Esther and team, how are you?
Good.
I have a owing the IRS problem.
Okay.
In 2013, there was a bad divorce, so my son couldn't claim one of his children.
Okay.
2014 coming up, he should be able to. Shouldn't be a problem. But he still owes the IRS from last year.
Okay.
They won't make a payment plan with them. They just say pay it. I did pull off online. There is a form that you can fill out for a payment plan. Is that an option? Why won't they talk to him about this?
Okay, so they do set up a payment plan, though. So that's
very odd.
This is what I'd suggest, Paula. Just have him come to our office. We'll sit down with him and call the IRS, and they will set up a payment plan.
Yeah, because that form you're talking about is the same entity that they're talking about over the phone. So filling out that form is the same thing, and Chris wants to say something.
Now, is he the non-custodial parent of his children?
I'm sorry.
Do the children live with him or the mommy?
The mom.
Okay, he's got to make sure when he files, he gets an 8332 from the mom to claim the children. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to.
Well, since they've been divorced, so he has the right to claim a child for 2014.
No.
So it's the
not without the 8332.
The new law starting in 2010 is divorce decrees don't mean anything. He needs an 8332 from the custodial parent.
And don't forget, on the New York, there's an earned income credit for non-custodial dad. So if he can only claim one of the kids, he might get EIC for the other child too.
Right, but here's the thing, Paula. What he should do, and we're not busy yet, so opening day is Tuesday. This is a time he should call our office. We have lots of people loving to talk to people this time of year. There's no charge. He should go get the 8332. We'll even make the phone call to her and to have her to intervene, so she's talking to us, and we're not.
And we'll call the IRS
we're not him, and we'd be very happy to help him to get that form signed. But without the 8332, he really can't claim the children.
Oh, sweet. I will definitely have him call you then.
Okay, and then have him stop in, and we'll make the payment program, too.
That's awesome.
All right, thanks, Paula.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for the month of worrying.
Thank you. I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone, and we're talking about things that are important for tax season. So we went through a host of things that are taxable, and there's more than this, but these are the highlights. Now, let's talk about some non-taxable things. Canceled debt due to bankruptcy or insolvency. So if you have canceled debt, you went through a bankruptcy and they put it all in the bankruptcy, or you're insolvent, then that is not taxable debt collection, correct?
Correct. That's right. And a lot of times you'll do a Form 982 to include that insolvency.
Right.
That's
and then
what you should use.
Non-cash nominal gifts from an employer. So your employer's giving you a ham, it's not taxable. Moving expenses paid by your employer is also non-taxable, provided it's actually for the move, not for temporary living expenses, because temporary living expenses are taxable.
And they had to pay the moving company directly.
Right.
Right.
Employer contributions to a retirement plan. That's another tax-free fringe. Of course, though, when you take it out, what happens then?
Then you have to pay tax.
Then it's taxable.
Right.
Right. Meals furnished on the employer's premises for its convenience.
Right.
So the bottom line is your employer says, keep working, we'll feed you. And that's tax-free. It should be tax-free.
What were you going to say?
Nothing.
All right. Up to $13,190 for qualified adoption expenses paid for by your employer.
That's
which
pretty
would be a
cool.
really wonderful thing,
Yep,
wouldn't it?
That's pretty neat.
Up to $5,250 in qualified education expenses.
Not taxable.
So if your employer's helping you go to school, up to $5,250 is tax-free for education.
Right.
Gifts of cash in an inheritance. So if you're the beneficiary, they say, here's the money from the decedent. That's tax-free. However, if the money was from an IRA, an annuity, then that's a horse of a different color.
Right.
Right. You got to look at who's giving you the check. If it's coming from the estate of it's probably going to be tax-free. If it's coming from Merrill Lynch, a place like that where they worked, then that's going to be taxable.
Right. I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady from EG Tax. All of our offices are open tonight till 5. They're open Monday, 9 to 9. We'll be open 9 to 9 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday. Officially, tax season opens on Tuesday, so all the returns that we're doing right now, we're putting them on hold until we can send them out on Tuesday. We are Obamacare. We're excellent tax accountants, and we know Obamacare. So not only can we fill out those complicated forms like that other wonderful guy, I think it was Ron from Clarence, said, but we also will help you to get the insurance. We have Navigator. We have our own Navigator on staff who will help you to sit down and pick the best insurance possible, help you with the subsidies, will help you with the exceptions. There are like 22 exceptions to penalty. Some of them, and all of them, need a code. I think it's an ACN code that you need.
A certificate ID number.
Right. And you get that by filling out a worksheet, sending it into the marketplace. Then within 2 weeks, they say, they're going to give you this certificate. That's part of what we're going to help you with. So if you had a $1,000 penalty, we'll help you to avoid the penalty. And of course, in the summer, whatever they do to find out whether you really had insurance, we'll help you with that too. Right?
That's right. That's right. It's daunting. And I was with my first client the other day, and she didn't have health insurance except for 2 months. And so she said, well, I just want to pay the penalty. I said, no, let's go through the exceptions. And so don't just bow down.
Right.
If there's an exception that fits, then seize it.
Well, that's exactly right. I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone. And we got Joelle. Hi, Joelle. How can we help you?
Hi, yes. Quick question. I owned a business several years back, and I owe sales tax, okay? Now, I've been paying on the sales tax for years now. Mm-hmm. It comes right out of my paycheck. Mm-hmm. So, that's been being paid off slowly, but it's getting there. Mm-hmm. Now, when I file my taxes, I don't get anything back because they intercept it every single time.
Right.
Now, is this going to be for the rest of my life? Because to be honest with you, I think, unless I win the lottery, this isn't going to get paid off.
Okay, well, we have some very, very good news for you. Tell her about our offer the other day, Chris.
Yep. Well, Joelle, we can do an offer and compromise with New York State for sales tax, where I just did one for a gentleman. He owed over $50,000. We got it settled for $600 a month for the next 2 years, and then it's all gone.
That's great. Jeez.
And this was a debt going back to 1990. So
holy cow.
Yes, so we can help you. I just don't want you to give us figures over the air. What I would say, give me a call when I get...
No, of course not.
Yep. Give me a call during the week at the office, 632-7886, and I'll see if we can work with you.
That is so exciting. That's great.
I know. Now, let me ask you a question. So if we do the offer and compromise and I can make a payment, because they're taking, only a percentage out of my paycheck, and I'm a waitress, so it's like it doesn't show much on my paycheck.
Right.
But so if I do an offer and compromise and I make a settlement for, a certain amount of money each month for a certain amount of years, and it's not even close to, the 50,000 mark, but would I be able to file my taxes and get a return like every other person?
That's right, because
after the debt is paid.
Right. So once they accept the offer, then as soon as you come to the terms of the offer and compromise, then the debt is gone, and then you can just walk into the sunshine. But let me just say this to you, because you still have control over your withholding. You can change your W-4 at work, and you can change your New York State withholding at work so that you have them withhold less, so that you pay yourself your refund up front, so there is no refund for them to get.
Unless you get the earned income credit.
Wow, you know what? I'm just going to make an appointment with you guys because
because people don't realize you don't have to get a refund. You can pay yourself your refund every week as you're working, so that you have your liability is met by your withholding, but you haven't over withheld, so there's no money for them to grab. Okay.
Holy cow. Okay.
Right, Joelle.
Okay. So who do I call? I'm going to call to make an appointment with
The
you guys,
number
definitely.
is 632-7886, 632-7886. And Chris just took care of another young lady with the same problem.
Okay?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Joelle.
See you soon.
I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back on the other side. I know that. That's Hungry Heart. Yay!
Nice.
I'll tell you, if you ever play a song anyone would know, I would know it.
All right. That's true.
Tyler's like, whatever.
I mean, Tyler.
I'll wrap my
of
head
course,
around
I'm
that.
not. Tyler's like 20, so, and I'm not. All right, I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. We're from EG Tax. We have 30 area offices to serve you. Offices in Florida, offices in Arizona, and we want to help you, and we will answer your tax questions. So if you're tired of waiting on hold at the IRS, give us a call because we certainly want to help you. And I'm going to go back to the phones and talk to Roberta. Hey, Roberta, how can we help you?
Yeah, my brother's wife had just passed away about 2 months ago.
Oh.
And she worked at HSBC for about 44 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a pension and I believe an IRA. And he just turned 63 in August.
Oh.
And he wants to collect her Social Security because hers is more than his.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, I guess he talked to the bank or something, and they gave him to March to decide if he wants to take her pension or whatever. And then the IRA. And he also went and he had a will done that only cost him $50. And I'm a little concerned about that. And I keep telling him to call you, but I think he's a little worried about, how to ask you these questions or whatever. But what do you think about the will for $50? He has 3 children.
I mean, I really don't know about the will without reading it, and we're really not attorneys. We're tax specialists, enrolled agents.
Right.
So
We
what
could recommend
but I
is
mean,
Dennis.
yeah, I mean, Dennis Kitchen is one of the attorneys we work with. Jeff Katz is an attorney we work with. You could have it looked at. I really don't know, but relative to the pension. If he's the beneficiary of the pension and he needs the money, he could start withdrawing the pension anytime he wants. The same with the IRA; it would go from his wife to his name, and it's treated just like it's his IRA. So if he wants to call us, Roberta, we're very happy to help. If he is intimidated and he just wants to email us, we'll email back and forth to him. All he has to do is go to egtax.com and ask the question, and we'll email him back. Or you can come in person.
Am I right? There's 3 options to get that pension money. No,
he's the spouse.
He's the spouse.
Would he have to pay tax on that?
Yeah, he will have to pay tax on the annuity. Unless his wife had completely contributed after tax, which I can't believe happened, but probably he'll have to pay tax on the annuity. He'll have to pay tax on the IRA. And is he working, Roberta?
No, he's retired now. That's why he wants to collect her Social Security.
Yeah. Okay. So, and it could be if he does enough planning. The kids are all home with him?
No, there's just one home with him, the younger one. The other 2 are out.
Now, how old is the youngest?
The youngest one, I believe, is in her 20s, maybe 24, 25.
All right, in college?
No.
Working,
right.
Okay. So if he plans this right, he can start taking money out of the Social Security. He can take money out of the IRA and maybe part of her annuity her annuity. And if he keeps it low enough, he can take it out all before he has to pay any taxes. So all he has to do is call us. We'll be very happy to tax plan with him.
And let me ask you another question, hon. He's only covered through the insurance until February, and then he has to find someone that he can get insurance from.
Okay, and again,
that's health insurance.
And then he can talk to Tim Eliason. He's our health negotiation navigator, and he'll help him to sign up for the least expensive insurance. And Roberta, we do this strictly as a public service. We make no money off of this. We just
Right.
want to help people. So he can call us at 632-7886. We'll put him into contact with Tim Eliason, who's the navigator, so he has his health insurance too.
And I also want to say that your mother is a sweetheart. Missy?
You know my mom?
Oh, yeah, because I used to work at Amberley.
Aw.
She is
Well-
a sweetheart.
She is a sweetheart.
Well, I'm very happy she's here. She was languishing in Detroit, and we got her bubbling in Buffalo now.
Yeah, she said that you wanted her to move out to Florida, but she doesn't want to go there. She wants to stay right where she is.
Yeah, she does. She does.
Well,
Okay,
thank you
thanks,
very much,
Roberta.
Esther.
Bye-bye, dear.
Bye-bye.
Before we take, if there isn't, I just want to say too, on Tuesday coming up on the 20th at Eastern Hills
WBBZ,
Mall
right.
at the WBBZ, we're going to do a couple tapings of some TV shows. So if people have questions in the Buffalo area,
Oh, we would love you to be
come
in our
on
audience.
in, go there, and we'll put you in the audience, and you could get your questions asked right there.
Remember when there used to be a peanut gallery? You guys would never. You're too young. But we'd love to put you in the
Between
peanut
4
gallery.
and 6.
4 and 6 at the Eastern Hills Mall, WBBZ, and we'd love to put you in our audience, and we can ask your tax questions in front of a camera, and you
That's
can
right.
tell all your friends so they can see you. Right?
And they can have good answers, and it's a lot of fun.
You know, one of the callers before was talking about sales tax. Remember the lady with the
Yes.
bill? What people don't realize, especially when you got a small business, is that when you're, like, let's say you have a cleaning company or a landscaping company, a lot of people don't think about it, but they have to pay sales tax on that, and they have to collect the sales tax. And so if you're a small business owner and you haven't been collecting sales tax, maybe you're a painter, you need to call New York State Sales Tax Department, get a sales tax number, because what they can do is audit you at any point in time and assess all the sales tax. And just like this lady, they're garnishing her wages. It can be just devastating.
Detrimental.
So if you need any help with sales tax and workers' comp, one of our clients is going through an audit right now because they have subcontractors, and the state of New York is going after them, saying that they are employees. Well,
Yep.
we're taking the position that these are all contractors, but the state wants the workers' comp. So
One of my clients, her fiance said, you got to go talk to Tiffany. You got to talk to Tiffany. She has a daycare in her home, and she has employees, and so she's doing it as 1099s, and so we're getting her to have them to be W-2 employees, because what if any of those people got hurt?
And then the other thing is, you can be going along doing a really great business, and
Right.
all of a sudden the state auditors walk in, and now you're not so happy because they're assessing you all this stuff. The best thing to do in business is to do everything right.
That's right.
And if it's something that is questionable, we can get an opinion from the Internal Revenue or the state of New York to make sure that we keep you on the right, because we don't want you to get in trouble.
That's right.
Okay, I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady. During the week, if you need us, you can go to any of our offices. They'll answer your phone calls directly. You can go to our website. We'll be very happy to answer your tax questions. Let me finish this up, though, before the end of the show. Other things that are tax-free: physical injury awards, when your attorney sues because you got in a car accident and you had pain and suffering, that's tax-free. Property damage insurance award up to a basis, so your house burns down, right? Mm-hmm. Insurance reimbursement for medical expenses, tax-free. Life insurance proceeds because of somebody's death. So
Right.
they had a life insurance policy, you get proceeds, that's
No,
tax-free.
am I right about the insurance reimbursements for medical expenses? If you took that as a medical write-off, you'd have to take an adjustment.
Right, if the year before you wrote them off, and
Right.
then you get reimbursed and you add it back in. You
Right,
take
right,
the
right,
adjustment.
right.
Workers' compensation is tax-free. Railroad sick pay due to injuries, tax-free. Annuities paid to the government survivors due to a job-related death, like a police officer. Scholarships, which pay educational expenses. VA benefits are tax-free. Peace Corps payments for living expenses are tax-free. All welfare benefits are tax-free. And if you lived in your personal home 2 out of the last 5 years and you sold it for less than $250,000 gain, or if you're single, or $500,000 filing a joint return, that also is tax-free.
Another thing that I find a lot of people miss is if you were a public servant who was in the police or the fire and your health insurance is part of your pension, you can take an adjustment.
Back that off.
You can back that
Up
off.
to $3,000.
Up to
Right.
So don't
Right.
forget to do that.
And then the other thing on people from New York State, if you are retired on a pension, you're over the age of 59 and a half, the first $20,000 of pension is completely tax-free on the state. If you're a public retiree, city, state, or local, or federal, all of your pension is completely backed off on the state. If you don't back it off, I'm sorry to say, nobody's going to let you know, and you're just going to overpay. And so if you heard anything on today's show that you haven't been doing, or you've been doing it incorrectly, what can we do?
We can amend for up to 3 years, so we can amend 13, 12, and 11. So make sure you get it done. 11 closes April 15th of 15, so the clock is ticking.
That's right. So I'll tell you, the other thing is, those of you that are in the marketplace, in the marketplace, you can't file your tax return until you get the 1095A form, which all gets merged with the Obamacare credit, because you might have to pay back some of it. You might get a larger subsidy and get a refund. So the 1095A is coming out by the 31st of January. If you are somebody that knows how to get on the computer, you can go into your own marketplace and pull that up so you can file early.
Right. And if you're having trouble, come to one of our offices and we can help you get it off that marketplace.
That's right. Chris, is there anything else I'm missing here?
Nope. That's all it, I believe.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
there's nothing.
And then the other thing is, if you have unemployment, remember you can't file without your unemployment form from the state.
And don't forget, if you're a business and you have subcontractors or you paid people more than $600, you have to send out the 1099 and the W-2s by January 31st.
Right. Now the 1099 form, remember, is for people that got more than $600, who's not a corporation. But this is a good time, beginning of the year, if you've been paying people as subcontractors, and we've kind of touched a nerve while we were talking about making them employees. It's very easy to convert them to employees, because the state of New York is really auditing people for common law employees who are being classified independents when they really should be employees, and you don't really want that kind of problem, because the workers' compensation penalty is just astronomical. But during the week, if you have any questions about Obamacare, you're worried about going into the marketplace, you don't understand how to do that, EG Tax will help you. If you've gotten letters, if you're just wondering about how to read your W-2, if in box 12 you have health insurance that's been provided by your employer and there's not a DD in the box and you don't know what to do, give EG Tax a call at 632-7886. Go to our website at egtax.com, and we're very happy to help you. And all of our offices, again, are open 9 to 9 starting Monday, 9 to 5 on Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday. Look us up on the internet, and we want to help you. Until next week, I'm Esther Goulias, the Tax Lady, with Christopher Fabian, Tiffany Fabian. Have a great week. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.